a message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never
Yeah.
been a threat.
On 3. We said on 3 in the video that you guys are going to be watching Friday morning. And then we clapped right after on 3. And, you know, we should have waited till the 3rd. Go. Boom. Then we're out.
Yeah, a lot of bad timing on the snap counts that whole weekend.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. As far as that snap counts are concerned, we could have been a lot better. Gruden would not be happy with our snap count.
What about my cadence of down, set, go? Not obvious, kind of straight to the point.
It is. It's great for what we were doing. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I was overcomplicating it a little bit, but it's tough to take the gamer out of the athlete. And that's just the gamer inside of me. We're also with another gamer, though.
Yeah.
Our coach. Josh Tadagui is in the studio with us. How's it going, bro?
Hey, how are you guys? Man, you got my name right. That was
Yeah.
impressive.
Tadagui, I remember it. It was a name that you couldn't forget. He and I played tackle football together. It was my second year ever playing tackle football. First year for you?
Yeah.
It was sixth grade year. Really quick, I'm going to go into story time because it's like a wild, coming about story how I started to play for this team. I told my dad I wanted to try out. The coaches said, meet us at whatever elementary school or middle school we were practicing at. I go there, and, bro, they put me through a 35-minute just grueling workout, just a lot of running. I was not ready for it, but I told them at the end of it I could play quarterback.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I became the white quarterback on the all-black team, and you were also a fair-skinned kid, but you're not white.
No.
Where are you from? Or like, what's your nationality?
My nationality is Chamorro. So my culture comes from Guam.
Okay.
So and then I got like about 12% Japanese in me, but really whenever I talk about it, I say I'm from Guam.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no,
You ever been to Guam?
Yeah, when I was like 5, dude, it's so expensive to get out there.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't even know where it's at on a map.
It was
know where Guam's
you,
at?
me.
I do not know.
Yeah.
It was you, me, and then there was one other kid. He was like He was like Hispanic and black, but he was lighter skinned as well.
Yeah.
You know?
There was the three. We were rocking it. I don't remember him specifically.
I only remember him because I see the picture all the time.
But it was a great football team. We had like a killer running back, which is about all you need in 6th grade football. And we ran toss left and we ran toss right, and we won a lot of guys.
His name was EJ. I'll never forget. His name was EJ.
EJ, and he broke his leg in a playoff.
He broke
game.
his leg in the playoff game at Ed Fountain Park. We'll never forget that. They had to bring the ambulance. It was the most traumatizing thing I'd ever seen in my time.
Yeah, bro. Like you as a kid, seeing
his leg was contorted. His leg was contorted.
That was our stud.
Yeah.
In a playoff game.
You know what's crazy? So I grew up a soccer kid, right? And it took me like 6 weeks to get my mom to sign the permission slip to play football. And when she finally signed it, we played a preseason game in the summer, which was like a scrimmage, right? You couldn't hit the quarterback, but everyone else could get hit. Now, if the quarterback left the pocket, it became live. And it was one of those where like we scrimmaged like my head coach at the time, Coach Brosnan, and this other coach, they like grew up together. So like our two schools, it wasn't like sanctioned or anything. We kind of had like our own referees and shit. But I remember they had the ambulance there just in case. And my mom pulls up and she's like, what the fuck is that? and I didn't get hit until like so like my coach the whole time was like, yo, it'd be nice if you got hit. Because, like, the whole practice.
Yeah.
I didn't play football my whole life. I kind of played in the parks and shit. And the guy who now is the head coach of my high school, shout out to Vinny, we grew up with him, like, in the neighborhood. He was, like, the older kids, and by older, 2 years older. And he was like, yo, bro, I'm graduating. They need a quarterback. The team is ready. Like, you can step in. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to remember plays and shit. Like, it's fucking difficult. Throwing at the park, It's not fucking remembering. He's like, bro, the
Different than
plays
drawing
are,
on the football.
Yeah, but he's like, bro, the plays are simple. Like I was telling you in the video, like spread 101 was a play. 121 was a play. So he's like, bro, you can remember that. I'm telling you, you'll be good. So I ended up becoming the quarterback, but I didn't get hit like at all. You don't hit the quarterback. So bro, there's like a third down play, pocket breaks. I go to run, and I just hear my coach go, "Oh boy," I got fucking smoked, but I got up, and he was like, "All right, you popped your cherry, bro. You're a real boy now." But my mom saw the ambulance, and she was like, "Get the fuck." So it was a nightmare. We didn't get to see any crazy hit that was like life altering or anything, but I think the craziest one was this one kid had his shoulder separate. But like it was so bad that when they had to like cut the shoulder pad, like they had to
like readjust it.
They
or
took
to pop it back in
to pop his shoulder. They had to like cut with like plot like them big guys like
the jaws
grass
of life
wedges or shit.
Yeah.
I think I might be butchering that. And like his shoulder was like, it was fucked up.
And what's crazy is like now you look at pads. If you've ever seen like a pair of shoulder pads nowadays, they have everything set up to where you just got to pop, and then that plate comes off. So they don't have to sit there and use the jaws of life or whatever on it,
Yeah, no. Pads have definitely changed.
Bro, I'm talking about this is 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
like
old
when I was going to get recruited for college, I had to send out DVDs. I'm from that era. Like, it's fucking I didn't have Huddle.
Yeah, no, dude.
So
you had to be like, you had to hire an editor to like get a highlight
dude.
tape put together back
And
in
then
the
you
day.
use fancy fonts and stuff like that while you're using a Sharpie to draw your name on there and stuff like that.
Nick days.
So, dude, I got a question for you. Speaking about like, 2008 and then now, kind of like, and this was one of George's questions. I'm gonna steal it from him. I'm sorry, George, for that. But
Oh no, you're fine.
like, how much different would you say from either talking to your peers or to other coaches that have been around for a while, like the athleticism of kids from maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago to today, like 2026?
In my opinion, I'm going to say my opinion because obviously you're going to look at research and all that stuff. But in my opinion, I think it's changed a lot. And I think the main reason is because kids are so sedentary now. Everything is done while sitting, while on a laptop, on a cell phone, whatever the case may be. I think the athleticism has changed a lot because there's more stuff to do inside than there was when we were kids, right? When we were kids, we were doing stuff, playing football in the streets, playing basketball in the streets, just running, but riding your bike around, falling off your bike. Like, I don't think we realize like how much falling, maybe like jumping off of a wall, stuff like that from like a trainer's perspective, that type of stuff right there makes a big difference in like what a kid can handle, like kids don't know how to jump off walls now. Does that make sense? Like you got like a high thing and like a kid climbs over it, jumps off of it. You remember that shock feeling through your legs, like I don't even know if kids know what that feels like to this day. And when they do, we've gotten so like research and like medical advice can be found right on your phone. So then when kids do feel something like that, mom and dad run to their phone. They check, oh, my kid did this, that, whatever. And then sometimes it turns into a bigger injury per se than it should be, right? And then that, in a sense, kind of like pulls back like, all right, well, we talk about athleticism, but also like, is it coddling? Are you being overprotective? Do you just not know what that is supposed to be? And it's, dude, I see it all the time, man. I see kids that are like, oh, like they're wearing a walking boot because they rolled their ankle just a little. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this pain, it's shooting, it's really swollen. I'm like, that's a rolled ankle, but these kids don't know what that feels like, And so when you feel it for the first time, when we were kids, when you felt it for the first time, typically you're out on the street, you're with your friends, go walk it off, ride it off. And by the next day, it's a little sore, but you're fine. You can walk on it. With these kids now, they feel that little bit of soreness and they think that it's more, it's at a higher level of pain than it was before. And I think a lot of that comes down to, lacking the coordination, lacking that outside time to build your body for that,
I was really hoping you were going to say it was 100% tied to load management in the NBA and the way we've glorified it. And now all these kids are like well, if Kawhi doesn't have to play on a Tuesday, then I'm preserving my body for the pros.
Yeah.
And if the pros are preserving their body for whatever the fuck comes after that, whatever. But like kids fall into that. It was supposed to be funny, but
no,
kind of serious.
But
too.
no, dude. And like I said, I hear it all the time. You got kids that are, and it sucks because I'm somebody that posts advice on Instagram for training and all that stuff. And you got kids that are like, oh, well, Instagram tells me I need to focus on recovery. But in reality, that Instagram post is talking to a 28-year-old man. You know what I mean? You're a 16-year-old kid. You don't need to recover. Go home, take a nap, eat up, and you'll be fine. But no, everybody's like, oh, I didn't recover well. I'm an advocate for Whoop, and I'm over here sitting like, kids, when kids have Whoops, then they're like, oh, my recovery score said I'm at like a 34%. Maybe I should pull back a little. It's like, like it's not meant for them, but, to each his own, I guess. Everybody wants that next step, and they think that stuff like that is going to be it.
Yeah. You mentioned the thing about coddling, and I got an interesting question for you, because I always think about this. Like me growing up, I played every season. So I played like summer, spring, fall, winter. Like I played soccer year round, but then I also played basketball. Mm-hmm. Then I started playing football. Then I played baseball for I made a deal with two of my like best friends growing up in high school. I'm friends with them to this day, but I was like, yo, you guys come out for the football team. If you make the team, I'll try out for baseball. Our baseball team was sick. It was like one of the best teams in the city at Bryant, and I played first base. I had never played baseball before. Mm-hmm. Dude, it took me like a legit 2.5 months to hit a fastball. Like I was batting ninth. It was awful. That shit was like super difficult. But I felt like playing so many different sports helped me play football. Helped me play soccer, right? Like I was always good with my feet because I played soccer since I was 4 years old. So I had like really good balance. And then it helped me in, my post game or like, footwork in the pocket. Like I always got compliments like, yo, he has really good footwork. Yeah. Even when I would go to like camps and I was like 5'7" in fucking my sophomore year when I went to Syracuse camp. And they were like, yo, he got really good footwork. And then like the kid that was 6'3", 14 years old, like he had shitty footwork. So do you feel like, I don't want to say cater, but are you more excited if you are training a kid that has a background in different sports, or do you want them to just be hyper-focused in football or in whatever sport they're in?
See, that's tough. And I say that because there's only so much time in a day. And so if you got a bunch of kids that are, if you got a kid that because I get them, they play football, let's say they wrestle and they run track. Right, like, or even the typical football, basketball, baseball, right? That's great, and I'm happy for them because I am an advocate. I think that kids should be playing all different types of sports. I don't really like it when they really funnel themselves into just one sport year round all the time, doing it, 110% of the time. But it's hard from the training standpoint because at the end of the day, if they're playing 3 sports, I typically don't have a chance to train them. You know what I mean? They're so busy with their other sports. And then on top of that, you got to think they typically have their main sport, right? If they let's say they focus on football, they are a football guy, but they want to play basketball, they want to play baseball, they want to run track, whatever the case may be in the spring, they're still doing 7-on-7. They're still doing, right now with linemen, it's 5-on-5s, So yeah, they're doing all that other stuff, but for the sake of training, you might not be able to see them outside of, luckily I work within a school, but like if I don't have that athlete in that time, I'm probably not going to see them because of the fact that they're so busy with their other sport. So am I excited? Sure. But the timing is really what it comes down to. And if anything, you really got to hammer in the summer. But again, one of the most popular sports in the fall, football. And if you're hammering them in the summer, guess what? They're also getting their butts kicked at high school practice too. So now it's like now you start to look at workload and stuff like that too.
Right.
It's weird, man. Very rarely is it music. It's just about making it work.
Yeah, I that's a good question. You see so many kids that are professionals, and I know very little about the soccer scene in Europe, but I do understand it operates just like baseball in the sense of when you're very young, I mean, we're going to excel you to like the next level. You're going to be shipped across the country and you're going to be, you know, this is it for you now. And there's a bit of me that like, we don't see that in America, like very rarely. And the kids that, or the places that we see it is like IMG Academy, where it's a college preparatory school, but we all understand what the end goal is, and all those kids, you know, getting drafted to whatever sport, but we don't see it a lot in America.
Can I add something to that? Because you bring up a really interesting point. Hockey, soccer, and baseball, you will never see a kid play at a high level and like the lower third of his name is like started playing in high school. Right? Like,
it's true.
You're not going to see a kid, and I know Jory in the control room, he played soccer. Like, bro, you got to be so coordinated with your fucking feet. You can't, like, one of the things we were going to do when we were at the field with you over the weekend was, like, Jory and I had planned before I fucked up my quad, because I'm going to be 35 now, I'm washed. But before that happened, we were going to do some soccer drills, right? But I wanted him to, like, you know, play some long crosses to him and just have him try to control it. Right? Like settle. It's like, bro, it's impossible. Yeah. You won't see a kid in baseball the same way. Like, bro, it took me a legit 2.5 months of doing fucking practices to hit like a 89 mile per hour fastball. I couldn't do it. Right? So hockey, because you got to skate forward, then you got to skate backwards, right? So you're not going to see a kid like you do in football, or you see guys like Joel Embiid picked up a basketball when he was like 16. Right? It's like, bro, you played soccer. You're fucking 7 foot now. You're not going to play soccer. Right? Yeah. Like, you know, Antonio Gates played basketball, and they're like, bro, you're 6'5", and you can move. Like, here, catch a couple. Jimmy Graham. Like, you see those success stories, but you don't see it in reverse. You won't see those guys playing. Yeah. So kind of to your point where you were saying how, like, it's very rare to see it happen. And then when it comes to soccer, like, here's another thing. The reason why in the U.S. it's never going to be as big and as popular, because if my kid is 14 years old and he's nasty at soccer, if I'm at like a family barbecue and I tell my family and friends like, hey, little Nicky's good in soccer, I'm going to pull him out of school and take him to Europe and see what happens. First answer everyone's going to tell me is, you're pissing away his future. Yeah. He's not going to be educated. Yeah. How you take him out the school system? In Europe, when you're 8 years old and you have a crazy first touch in soccer, they're like, you in the academy, bro. We'll figure out the education after. And that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like, it's true. Here, the biggest difference also is like the MLS draft, right? They graduate college. They're 22, 23 years old. Now they're going to play professional. Kids in Europe are playing professional at 16. Yo, that's 6-7 year age gap. It's crazy.
And a common thing in all three of those sports you said is the barrier of entry is so young. I just saw a kid get offered offered a contract by some major league team, and the kid's like 11, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I've even heard, I mean, this was a very shallow conversation, but like I heard a guy say like, we're only getting closer to the point where we're going to start, these kids are going to be like getting blood tests done to really see where your genetics lie, you know, like get all these genetic testings done to where it's like, okay, do you really have the potential to get here? Or are you just going to be just another kid that played the sport really well? You know, are you really there? Yeah. And it, like I said, the barrier of entry is just getting lower and lower from an age standpoint. The barrier of entry is getting younger and younger and younger.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's all competitive. They all want to win. What's the way that you win? You find them as young as you possibly can, and you have the talent scouts that are able to find it. And so having you on, Josh, one of the main reasons is you've trained athletes for the NFL Combine. Mm-hmm. NFL Combine's happening right now. You know, watch out for my big little bro on Sunday. He's going to be competing and doing all the drills. And I had asked the question to you, based on the fact that you had trained people, is the NFL too, I guess, scientific with the way that they analyze players? Because we saw it with Will Campbell last year and his wingspan and being at left tackle, and it's a rarity. And you hear the quarterbacks with their hand sizes. When you were helping prepare the athletes for the combine. Did you feel that? And what was your approach for those different athletes?
So I hear what you're saying, and I'm taking this from the approach at how we train them. There's a lot of different places that train combine athletes, and they host combine camps and stuff like that to do that. And where I worked with, shout out Trip, shout out Reggie. It was very it wasn't super scientific. You know what I mean? Like there was a method to the madness, but it was madness, and it was, get down, get dirty, get grimy, and let's just work. And you got other guys that do make it very scientific, that do bring it down to the fraction stuff. And it's like, you got to realize, you got to understand who you're working with, and I think that kind of goes into the selection process of like where certain athletes might go and choose to train. In regards to, kind of thinking about little things like hand size and wingspan and stuff like that, I think as the population of people trying to play grows, you have to get into that stuff. You have to look into those little things. And it's just, the pool's getting bigger. You got to think we're pulling guys from across the world now. The NFL international stuff is blowing up, and you got guys that are getting trained to where they can, all right, let's learn the sport. All right, because now you have all this potential to play the sport. Let's learn the sport. All right, now let's develop and actually get you into the league, And I think it has to get more scientific, Is there still going to be the guy that just has that grit and can...
The Vince Papale invincible story.
There's always going to be that guy,
Right. The Will Comptons of the world.
Is it going to be easy for us, is it going to be easy for scouts to, vouch for that guy? I think as time goes on, it's going to be harder because everything is on paper. Everything is on paper. I read, this is going to go to basketball, but I read this study, and can we agree that the playing pool for women's basketball and men's basketball, very different, right? Larger for men's basketball, smaller for women's basketball. They analyzed jump height, okay? And jump height for men, all within the same route. Jump height for women, kind of all over the place, right? And they realized, okay, with the women, whoever had higher jumps typically had more playing time. Okay. For the men, they all had the same jump height. So how are you supposed to decipher that? Now they got in more scientific. Okay, not just who jumps highest, but let's see who gets off the ground faster. That analytic might not matter for a smaller playing pool. So what I'm getting at is, as the playing pool gets bigger, you have to get more detailed. It has to get finer. It has to get smaller. Think about 40 times, bringing it down to fractions of a second. And that fraction of a second is going to lose you around or win you around. So.
Damn.
I mean, bro, as you guys were talking, I remember when Joe Burrow was about to get drafted, I think his hand size was like the smallest in like 12 or 15 years. And then he put out a funny tweet and he was like, considering retiring from the NFL because I was told my hand size is too small. And like, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, right? He just can't stay healthy. But when he plays, dude lights it up, right? But to your point, it's like I feel as if they gotta find something wrong with you.
Yep.
It's never like, he does 8 out of 10 things great. Them 2 things though, George, right? Like,
yeah.
Bro, it's so crazy to me because they look for a reason to look past somebody, right?
Yeah.
You see wide receivers where I remember watching the tape on Odell coming out, and then I really loved Jarvis Landry out of LSU. I thought Jarvis Landry was the better of the 2 receivers. So I was always a fan of him when he went to Miami also. But I was like, man, I know the 40 times weren't that crazy, but anytime you watch him, no one could catch him. Right? It used to be the thing with Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice ran a 4.63 40. But anytime he caught a slant, it was deuces. No one could catch him. But it's like, they gotta find that one thing. And then that's the thing where it's like,
we're going to ding you.
Yeah, we're going to destroy them for that one thing,
For sure, but you have to, because it's $1 million decisions, and all of that also parlayed with the whole interview portion and everything that goes along with the combine. My question to you now, Josh, is which combine drill is the biggest lie?
For me, this one's gonna hurt. This one's gonna hurt. For me, I honestly think it's the bench press. That one hurts because I love the bench press. I like that's my thing, right? It's
Oh yeah, brother. Spoiler, as someone that couldn't put one rep up.
By
That's
the way,
what I like to hear.
If you follow him on Instagram, he posted 2 days after we did it, him doing, what was it, 20?
21.
21.
That was a shot at you.
Oh, it was such a shot.
Like, you ain't gonna come into my fucking facility.
But no worry, he's shitting on it right now, so let's let him shit on the bench press.
No, but I look at it from a standpoint of, thinking about the concept of conditioning, thinking about what actually goes into blocking, right? Because that's how I'd look at that, right? We're not, and even thinking about like overall endurance, you're sitting there for close to a minute, depending on how long you're doing it, just repping out and just, now obviously they need something in there that determines your upper body strength. And I think as sports science equipment kind of evolves, they're going to look at all that stuff. But I think that's one of the tests where I'm just like, oh, that's the one. And I'm like, you think about, again, going back to blocking, I'm sorry, but going back to blocking, you do it one time, you shift your arms a little bit, you keep going, and then next thing you know, play's gone, right? If that's what you're comparing it to, it's like, dude, no.
Should they max?
No.
Do you think a max would be better? No,
because then you can have a dude sitting here like benching like this and maxing like this, but that doesn't apply to football either.
That would be a sick
For
graphic to have on a person. Like, look at our fucking offensive line benched a total of a ton. That would be insane.
Another spoiler. Who did you say got 0 reps in the bench press test?
I said Drew Brees, but that was just to make Nick feel good at the time.
Thanks,
but I'm gonna be honest, probably like a young Drew Brees would have struggled.
A lot of people do, and it's like at the end of the day, you're gonna tell me he's a bad quarterback because he can't bench press,
Right.
And even like again, linemen. There are so many tests that we can do. Have you guys been to the UFC PI? Have you seen kind of what goes on in there? Did you see what they did for the power slap stuff? Like their power slap testing, they literally had a dummy there and they smacked it to see how much force they're putting in, right? And in that, it's like, what other tests can we do? And there's got to be somebody that's out there manufacturing a force block, like a force.
Dude, John Brinkus did this 15 years ago. Where the hell's he been? Brinkus should run the NFL
is
Combine.
Is that the ESPN Sports Science guy?
Of course. Yeah. He didn't pass away, did he?
I think he passed away last year.
He did?
Yeah.
Dang.
Dude, what a legend.
But
confirmed, did pass away in May of 2025.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
That's
Fucking
wild.
icon,
We're getting
bro.
old.
Rest in peace.
That feels like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
For real.
But like there's so many, like there's ways that I look at strength tests for the upper body, and it's like, and then you also consider the fact that half the time you get the upper body involved, you're engaged. What's the next thing to go? What's the next thing that you have to use? Your legs. And everything else I think is good for understanding, how your legs actually are working. I love in the NFL Combine, my favorite drills of all are the change of direction ones, right? That's I feel like that's a common one, and the jump ones, right? Because you're thinking about coming off of out of a 3-point stance or something like that. I'm talking as a lineman, but you come out of a 3-point stance and you're extending hard, right? 40, I get it,
Yeah.
But the bench press one, that's probably got to be the one that's like, probably, I think they keep it because it's been the standard and it's been the thing for however long. But
yeah, it's time to change it up. Nick, what would you change it to?
The what? The 40?
No, if you had to change the bench press. The bench press is gone. We have to replace it with something that shows us power.
I mean, as you were talking about like your favorite drills, my favorite for the receivers is when they run that like gauntlet, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Where they go from one sideline to the other and they kind of catch this way, where they catch this way, and then they sprint. Like, I really like that one. And you could tell like how fluid someone is. I remember talking to Michael Irvin one time on the show on It Is What It Is before we started recording. And he says something so fascinating about receivers. He's like, know when to get open is like just as important as getting open. It's like, if you're open on, one Mississippi when the play hasn't developed yet, it's like, well, now you fucked the whole play up, right? So like no one went, and then he said late hands, right? So like you're not running for 30 yards with your hands out. It's like you're plucking it like T. Higgins does that really well.
Yeah.
Like T. Higgins is like just snatches it out the sky. So like for the receivers, I feel like those change of direction drills, I'm with you. Those are the ones that like I tune into whenever it's the combine. Like, bro, I remember watching fucking Zach Wilson do his pro day, and they were like, 70 of 70 through air. It's like, yo, I went 16 of 16, bro. If I got no one over there, fucking Josh was making fun of me. He's like, dude, you drop back and step up in the pocket like you got the Eagles offensive line. I was like, yeah, I should. I expect the standard to be set whenever I'm in the pocket. But it's like, yeah, bro, you're throwing on air. I would assume.
I mean, do you remember when was it Cam Newton or was it Colin Kaepernick that tried to that had all those receivers lined up and he threw to him, and I think he missed a few, and they were just playing on air. I forget who it was, but somebody had like an open workout, and it was an indoor facility, open workout, and they were kind of just throwing ducks. I could be wrong. They might not have been throwing ducks. It could have been the receiver's fault. I don't remember, but I remember it wasn't perfect.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly excited to watch the combine since I have a vested interest this year. But it's also, me as a person who loves the NFL, I love the power trip that these GMs get when they see a fast time and they have the power to be like, he's moving up on the draft board. I do that for my own house. And so, it's fun. It's only fun for that reason.
For sure. And, we've talked about this so many times where like, I personally hate this time of year for football because like, I don't like draft grades. I think you can't tell. Right? Like, the Giants draft this past, I'm a Giants fan, right? The Giants draft, it got a D-. They traded up for Jackson Dart. They take Cam Scatterboo. Abdul Carter was like a can't miss prospect, but he struggled until the tail end of the season. It's like now you look at it, you're like, bro, who had a better chance, who had a better draft than them, considering, they got 3 cornerstones for the franchise.
As an Eagles fan, I'm nervous for I'm scared of the Giants in this upcoming season. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, it's over for you. We're back.
I got a little angst in me for that.
Yeah, and you should. It's been bad the last couple of years, but we're back, as Isaiah in the control room as an Eagles fan. But yo, seriously, like I always remember, and I tell this story every time. If you're a fan of any team, when the draft comes around, don't forget in 2012 the Seahawks got an F for their draft, and they drafted Bruce Irving, Bobby Wagner, and Russell Wilson. Altered the franchise. So, like, to me, to your point about these GMs with the power trip, bro, the Raiders, they were known for Darius Hayward-Bay. Ran the fastest 40 in like a decade. They're like, oh, dude, let's take him 7th overall. And it was like speed. It's like, well, he had drops his whole career. Like, that was the stigma of him coming out. And then, look, he was out the league after 4 years. He didn't pan out to what he was supposed to. So to me, like all this stuff, it's so blown out of proportion. And I think people just look at the red flags as opposed to all the green flags. It's like, yo, just double down on that.
Facts.
Do you think that people get excited and are like super up for this time of year because football's finally kind of making its way back in?
Oh yeah,
like it's their way to watch and it's their way to be involved in football.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for years now that the NFL has done the best job of any league to really make headlines 12 months out of the year. They have the 6 months where they're in season, regular season, but then you're looking at like February, right? You got the combine. What do you have in March? Free agency. Best available, who's available, what the fuck they paid this guy, how the fuck did Aaron Rodgers not get signed? So that's all of March, right? April, you have the draft. May, you have, I can't believe Stephon Diggs didn't show up to voluntary training camp. You're like, bro, it doesn't matter, right?
And schedule release too, right?
Schedule releases in May. June is like I think it's the
OTAs.
first mandatory OTAs. Then it's like July, end of July, you got training camp. Everyone shows up, and then August is preseason. Now you're back in the swing. You're having your fantasy drafts. We do our futures episode where we put our season-long bets. As you guys can see this shirt right here. It's available on the merch store, 45-1, Matthew Stafford. George, we tried to tell him. They don't want to
We tried to tell him $1 a day, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Look
Plug
at
that
this,
shit.
The $1 a day club.
Yeah.
Look at that. You spend money on worse.
Hell yeah. We all spend money on worse. You know
Does
what
she
I'm
have
saying?
good boobs in this? Yeah, she does. Not the best boobs. But I mean, we could have him work on it. I should say, a little more under boot.
We need a little more wagon.
Yeah.
I'm way more of a backside guy. Spanish.
This is like a Biloxi, Mississippi.
That's
Missouri
like a cracker backside. We need like a Medellin backside.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. Marvin, we gotta fix that. But the merch is available as well, and patreon.com/veterans minimum.
That was a good way to promote the merch. My last question for you, Josh, before we let you go here. Yeah. Who do you want the Eagles to pick up in this year's draft?
And let me add a follow-up to it. Are you a best available or position of need guy for your team? Or if like you were
position of need.
Position of
need, hands down. I've never been a best available guy. And I say that because I don't think my team's ever been, since I've been alive, I don't think the Eagles have ever had top 5 picks.
Subtle flex.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, yeah.
But I don't know, man.
What do you think the Eagles need to address? They fired the OC. What do you? So maybe your offense is rejuvenated this next year.
Yeah, and a lot of people on the defense don't know. They don't know who's coming back and who's not on the defense. I think a good secondary pickup would be good, in my opinion. Depending on how they look at Reed and the linebacker situation. I mean, freaking, it's got to be something on the defense, and I always look at the secondary. I mean, Quignon had a great year, but again, like when you look at all the other surrounding pieces, it's
yeah, it's a.
I'm kicking myself. I'm kicking myself because I don't know what. Maybe I don't know why I didn't. I don't have a brain right now for college football. Like I'm trying to think, and I'm like
about like a lockdown corner. I mean,
yeah, like
the ones that we know about, bro, are gone by the time you guys are picking.
For sure.
Yeah, Caleb Downs is.
Yeah, and I'm like
an Eagle.
And that's the thing is like,
oh, do I pray, Caleb, pull up, bro. Pull up. Give us Caleb or Tate at number 5 or trade back. That's what I want for the Giants. We get Downs. Oh my God, George! I'm gonna change my whole opinion on NFL draft stuff.
Just like this draft grade is
rookie of the year. Put it in.
Perfect. You got anything else, Nick?
Yeah, dude. I want to talk a little bit about the combine video that we shot with you. What were your big takeaways from it?
From you guys in particular, or like, because I could look at it a bunch of different ways. I could look at it as
are we athletes or no, bro? That's what I want to know. Are we athletes?
I'm gonna be honest. Here's the cliffhanger from this episode until the thing.
Hell yeah.
Seeing the 40 time blew me away. Seeing the 40 time blew me away. And when I watched
enough said.
And when I watched the video, I was happy to hear the beeps of the timer. Because I promise, bro, to see the 40 time really blew me away. I was like, dang. And then to see, because you guys did all the throwing drills beforehand, to see the fact that you guys were able to still make it through the throwing drills, and then, because I'm going to be honest, we're all in the same age group. I don't know that I could have done that. I'm going to be so real.
It was super ambitious. Like, we didn't realize this, Nick.
How sore were you guys the day after?
I haven't done a single workout since Saturday. And like my feet, when I got into the shower today, I still felt it in my feet because the cleats were brand new. Like that ripping that you feel in the middle of your feet when you run. Yeah.
For me, my quad.
Yeah.
That fucked it up. But like normally, bro, I still do kind of. I just hadn't kicked in fucking 5 years. And you also told me, you're like, hey man, when you weren't doing that one workout warming up, like this is why we were doing it the right way. But I always, like, when I went back in December, I played basketball. We ran 3 full courts. The next day I went to jiu-jitsu. Like, I feel good. Like, I clearly, as you see my bench press, I don't do heavy weights.
For sure.
I do way more like resistant bands and kettlebells because I like being more active.
And I'll say this to your benefit. I'm somebody that lifts really heavy, and I know that if I was to roll with you, you would tie me up into a knot. You know what I mean? Like, it's all perspective.
Right. So like I always prided myself on like, yeah, I could go play pickup and then go to the gym the next day. But I fucked my quad up. Felt mad good kicking the first couple. But then after that, I was like, oh. But yo, throwing, I will say, like, I watched some of the, I watched the combine video with the throws. I was pretty impressed with myself, especially having never thrown to anyone over there.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Ball didn't touch the turf, coach.
Yeah, and we didn't have all day. We were on a tight schedule. You guys got to check out. It's not going to be on the You're Welcome Network YouTube. You will have to go over to the Veterans Minimum YouTube, which is linked down below. You're going to go subscribe and you're going to go watch this. We did this for you. That's the least you can do is go over, subscribe to the VM channel, and yeah, it's a good look for everybody.
How did it? Can I bounce one back at you guys? How did it feel to be coached again?
Oh, bro, it was
so much fun.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's the big reason why I love jiu-jitsu, because like jiu-jitsu is the only thing I've done sports-wise that I have no ambition to be a professional in. Like when I'm 14, 15 years old, I'm like, I could make the league, right? I could go D1. Or when I was playing soccer, I was a way better soccer player than I was a football player. But I always say that, like, soccer was my first love, but football was my side piece. And, sometimes, depending on who you are, the side piece is a little more exciting. And for me, I just fell in love with football even more so, right? So jiu-jitsu, one of my favorite things about it is I have no aspirations to compete at a high level, to be a professional at it. So it's cool to be coached. So that shit brought me back, bro. Like the drills and like, I don't want to say having to impress you, but like,
Gotta give the effort to like.
Yeah, like yo, someone's taking their time to like show me some shit. I'm not gonna half-ass it. You know what I mean? Like I was paying attention to everything you were saying. I didn't execute some of the shit. That's why my quad got fucked up. But like, I liked it, bro. It was very nostalgia like.
Yeah. Bro, maybe we just want to play. Like I realized I'm going to regret it in 10 years if I don't push myself competitively in something.
Yeah.
And I was like, going back on the field, I was like, I do have a little bit left. The thing that really piques my interest, and it's so stupid and I should not like be as excited to try this, but that A7FL,
the tackle with no pads.
Bro, my friend Jaleel from back home, I played high school football against him, but he was on like our Sunday football team. He's won MVP in that shit like twice. He's been on the show way back in the day. Shout out to Courage. And he's like,
you got to be a little bit of a psycho. And like, I felt as you were coaching me, I was like, oh, the psycho was like reawakening a little
Now
bit.
you can't tell me though that's not that bad. Like you can't tell me that you got to be a psycho to do that. When you look at like a sport, like have you seen like the Run It League? Where those...
No, bro. Yeah, the Samoans colliding with each other. Yeah, fuck that.
But I mean, at least there's
crazy.
a purpose for this. That purpose is all right. Let's just hit each other. At least the purpose is to get into the end zone.
For sure. And I don't know what the prize money is. I mean, but it's not a tournament you want to lose.
Yeah.
Like you don't get rewarded for coming in third in that. Like, God,
one they did one here in Vegas.
You're trying to pay your rent and that's it. Yeesh.
The one they did here in Vegas, I think the payout, don't quote me on this, I think it was about 5 G's.
No,
but it all starts with that All-American League.
Yeah.
Let's run it. Let's run it. I'm down.
We got to get the team together. After that, I think we're competitive enough to, I would say average 21 to 24 points a game in a flag football league. We'll do flag.
Give me another two, 3 times throwing like that. Get everyone's timing down, bro.
And we didn't even see Isaiah. Isaiah was supposed to be there. Isaiah was not there. Mason was there. He did great. I think if we had Isaiah to the mix, maybe we're averaging 28 points.
Shout out to Mason, bro. Hamstring boys. Both of us got put out of commission.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Go watch the video.
Yo, we're about to play a little preview of the video right before we go to break and then come back with some win totals. But before we do, Coach, thank you so much, man. That was super dope on many, many different levels. We've wanted to do content outside of just the podcast, and it's been a big goal of ours. And I've been talking mad shit for years. That like, yo, I could throw and I could kick. They get 2 kicks through the uprights. So I was proud of that. I owe you guys a 50-yarder. I on our friendship, I'll bury a 50-yarder, bro. And I'll even do the spinning off the turf, hit a 37-yarder.
I can't wait to see this.
All right, hopefully the hamstring holds up. But before we play the video, where can people find you on social media, and if you got anything to plug?
Follow me at Tat Strength on Instagram, and yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for having me out here. And this was a dope setup, and it was fun to get back to it. It was fun to work with the combine set and stuff like that, and
right.
Yeah, man, it was cool.
Yeah, and it gave you a little bit of perspective too, right? You train all the high school kids all the time, and then we come around and you're like, oh, those kids are coachable. These kids are these older guys are they do whatever they want.
This quarterback does not shut the fuck up.
Yes, that's what he said.
All you're missing was a shiesty and the PJ pants, bro.
Hey, check out this video, and remember, you can watch the full video on the Veterans Minimum YouTube channel. We will be right back.
Can, Nintendo! Psycho!
He's comparable to one of my middle school students, actually.
Coach, I'll let that one slide. It's your turn.
You don't think he can hit the red?
It's 1, 2, 3, step forward, go. Say, go. 1, 2, 3, stop. Oh, shit. Fucking exhausting, bro. I think I fucked my quad up. Go to the plate right there. Just stop. Sling.
We are going to get after it today. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to do the full combine setup. We're going to do a 40. We're going to do an L drill. We're going to do the 5-10-5. We're going to go downstairs, jump a little bit, hit some bench press, and see where these guys match up against the pros.
I'm an athlete. I know the belly fools people sometimes. Plus my skin color. I'm also out of breath. Whew.
Here we go. Line it up on the 30. Line it up on the 30. High knees to the 40. High knees to the 40.
No claps. Oh, claps, no claps. You ready for this, Nick?
Butt kicks back to the 25.
All right, we're back. Remember, you can watch the video on the Veterans Minimum YouTube channel. The link is in the bio.
Boom.
Shout out to Josh once again. Were you impressed with my throwing? Because I've been talking.
I was,
shit for
but
a
see,
while.
here's the thing, Nick. That's how we met. We met in a back alley and we played catch with each other, and it was.
Pause that whole story.
No
Back
pauses.
alley playing catch is crazy.
Back alley playing catch with my brother. No, bro, come on. This is the fucking. It's the how we met story. Everybody loves this. You know, this is what's pinned at the top of people's profiles, so everybody knows. We played catch.
Yeah, and I almost killed you.
You almost killed me, and I got to witness then that the boy could sling, and so I always knew that. Seeing it on a football field, though, it's different. You know, when you're on a field, there's something about like your foot hitting that final step in the drop and just getting rid of it that you just can't beat. That's like hitting a home run.
Yeah. Well, listen, bro. The game is real simple. You either got it or you don't. And the juice is temporary. The sauce is forever. Some people got it. Some people don't. Do with that what you will. All right, George.
Yes.
Before we wrap, win totals. We kind of alluded to it last week.
Yep.
A couple of sports books have opened up the win totals in the NFL. George, if you want, I could list off all the win totals just like for reference. We're not going to run through each of them. George and I have a couple that stood out to us with more context, like we mentioned last week. But do you know who has the lowest in the NFL, if you had to guess?
The Cardinals?
Yes, the Cardinals have the lowest win total of all 32 teams. Their win total, George, sits at 4.5.
Sheesh.
The Dolphins have a win total of 5. So in the NFC, you have the Cardinals as the lowest. In the AFC, you have the Miami Dolphins. Do you know who has the highest win total, George?
If I'm not mistaken, there's nobody that has above 10.5, or has it changed since?
Nope, you are absolutely correct. There is 12 teams that have a win total of 10.5. That's the most in the NFL in 11 years. So,
do you think there's going to be a lot of movement? From now to when season starts?
That's an amazing question, George. The only time you'll see movement is if a quarterback goes down.
You don't think schedule release will play into that?
No, because they know who you're playing.
Correct, but they don't know the locate. Like, do they know the international games for next year?
You know where you're playing and who you're playing. You don't know when you're playing them.
Copy.
So I don't know who the Giants are playing week 7, but I know that they play this particular division, and it goes for any team. Right. So like, that's what.
Yeah, because I saw that the schedules were out. I just wasn't sure if it was like it denoted the international games.
So like the NFC East, right? They play the NFC West. So I know the Giants are going to play the Cardinals, the Niners, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Now, do we play the Cardinals and the Rams week 3 and 4, or do we play? There's one of the games that we don't know yet.
Right.
So, yeah,
very entertaining.
It is.
There is one that stuck out to me, and this actually is tied for the Dolphins as the lowest win total in the AFC. Same division. The New York Jets.
Okay.
At 5.5 wins. Nick, I have the strongest inkling that this is going to be another season in which the Jets can't figure it out, in which they will be picking top 5 again. They are going under 5.5 this year. That is my first win total bet of the season. They play their away games against beatable opponents. They play the Titans and the Cardinals, and at home they play the Raiders. Those are literally the only opponents on their schedule that I feel like they can have a competitive game with, and 2 of them are on the road. That's my handicap for the moment. And then on top of that, they added Frank Reich as their offensive coordinator. And Frank Reich, who was Stanford's head coach, who was working hand in hand with Andrew Luck, leaves the college game and returns to the NFL. And I want to ask you this question. Frank Reich, his last full season in the NFL was when? Full season.
Was it with the Colts?
It was with the Colts.
Was that when he had Phillip Rivers the first time?
Correct.
I'm high level, bro.
High level. 2021 was the last time Frank Reich coached a full NFL season. That following year, he was then fired by the Colts. And then the year after that, he didn't make it through the full season with the Panthers. Then he went to college, and now he's back. Not an offensive coordinator that warrants like, oh my God, this is the new wonderkin that's going to lead our franchise to the promised lands. No, it's the same old man bullshit. Give me the Jets under 5.5. They're not going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, man. Like, what do they do at quarterback?
I mean, he got fired with Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So, like, this is just going to be you can't see that happening with Justin Fields, a system in which it works. So, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of alluded to it last week, and I know I was very pro Chicago this year. Not so much next year, right? The Bears were my division winner in 2025. We had that at plus 600 at the start of the year. They checked all the boxes for a team that was going to regress positively, right? And they did. They got a new head coach in Ben Johnson. He elevated Caleb Williams in year 2. They hit on a lot of the draft picks like Luther Burden. They hit on the free agency moves that they made. However, I sound like a broken record, but one-score games. They had 7 fourth-quarter comebacks, an NFL record. They played 13 close games, meaning one-score games. They went 8-5 in those games. And their schedule this year, it's a little bit tougher. They have home games, obviously, against the division, but then they got Eagles, Jaguars, Patriots, Bucks, Saints, and Jets at home. And on the road, they go to Buffalo, to Miami, Atlanta, Carolina, and the defending Super Bowl champions. Also, they play the Packers, Vikings, and the Lions as well. So to me, I think it's it screams regression for me. Like the Bears remind me of that Kirk Cousins Vikings team that went 11-0 in one-score games. The next year they didn't go over.
Yep.
I remember being at Sticky Paws and one of them crypto dudes was like, "Yo," he was a Vikings fan. He was like, "We win double-digit games." I go, "They're not." He's like, "Steak dinner." I was like, "All right, cool." He owes me a steak dinner. Haven't seen him since. Tends to happen when people lose bets; they disappear.
I thought you were about to say tends to happen with crypto guys.
Oh, crypto guys too. Yeah, crypto guys also. So for me, it's the Bears, right? Like the caveat would be if Caleb Williams becomes an MVP candidate again, where it's like he becomes a version of Josh Allen, where it's like, yo, no matter what, bro, they're winning 11 games if he's healthy.
Right.
Which is very possible. It is very possible that could be like, yo, that's it. I got Ben Johnson now. I'm a double-digit, I'm an 11, 12-win guy if I'm healthy, which could be the case. And this isn't a hedge. I'm still going to take the under, which the under is 10.5 wins, -120. The over is +105. So they're kind of enticing you to take the over. So for me, the Bears won on the under. And then staying in division, I think very preliminary take. I think we've gotten too far from the Lions. Like, I've been very accurate with Detroit the last 3 years. Didn't buy them as a Super Bowl contender. Was on their under this year and it hit. It was my favorite under. That and the Titans were my favorite unders. Oh, sorry, Miami. Excuse me. It was Miami and the Lions unders. I think it's gotten a little too crazy now. Like, this is a very talented team. I think Jahmyr Gibbs should be the unanimous #1 pick in fantasy next year. Of course, very early. But they're bringing back the coordinators. Now they're not replacing 2 coordinators. There's a lot of talent on this team. And now they're just off the radar. Where like last year and the year before was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. So to me, I'm looking at their win total 10.5. I think, well, man, you know, they should get that. Now, I'll throw you another caveat. If it does go south, Dan Campbell, first coach fired, might be live.
Oh, no, you're crazy, bro. No, he's immortalized. Like Dan Campbell, mark my words, will be coaching the Lions for the next 15 years. Bro, he resurrected them from fucking the ashes. The biting the kneecap speech bought him the time till now. And then the playoff appearance, obviously flopping in the playoffs never hurts. But you're talking about a shit. I mean, sorry if you live in Detroit, a city that's dealt with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It sucks to say, but I mean, now that they had a little bit of success, they got that little white boy from Arkansas, Tesla, who's like a great rookie pickup, given the fact that you guys had one of the best receiver duos back-to-back years. They got to find a way to make sure that Jameson Williams gets more touches. But Dan Campbell coached the offense to close off the year last year, or he was calling the plays. And so, like, I'm excited to see what happens. I don't think that them going over it's 10.5 is in play, though, because this team still has flaws in the departments of management. Like Dan Campbell just all of a sudden calling offensive plays worries me heading into a brand new year. So my what? Okay, go ahead.
Listen, bro. I'm telling you, I'm definitely. You're gonna hear this take again. Like, let me get the schedule. Let me see if it's some murderer's row for the Lions coming out the gates. They come out at the gates like 2-7. That's not even out the gates. That's like half your season is done, right? But like, hey, man, how much of the Lions' success the last couple of years was it having Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? Look, Aaron Glenn as a head coach, I think he gets fired this year too. I don't think he's a great head coach.
Agreed.
Right? You're taking their under. Chances are the Jets are going to be hiring a new head coach.
I also don't. Here's another big like thing that I don't like when new head coaches bring in old head coaches as coordinators, because then you get a lot of, well, fuck, if it was my team, I would be doing this, and that. Yeah. Not a big fan of that. Okay, you ready for my next team?
Yeah.
Bucks over 8.5 wins. Reasons: they won't go further than Dallas all season for the road games, and they're hosting both Los Angeles teams. Huge plus whenever you get teams traveling cross country to you. They also added Zach Robinson as their offensive coordinator, who for the last 5 seasons has been right under Sean McVay's wing. And so now this is the young wonderkin working with Baker. They get a full season with a healthy Bucky Irving. I think this offense really hasn't even began to approach how prolific they can be. We saw it a lot at the very beginning of the year, and then they tapered off hard. You remember there was a one show, Nick, I think maybe a year and a half ago, where we did the best contracts in sports?
Yeah.
Levante David should have been on that list, because Levante David patches up so many holes on that defense that $10 million a year is a steal. And he's aging, but you got a rock and a solid player there that you can definitely build off of. As long as you got a good middle linebacker, I have faith that you guys can win games. Over 8.5. I like them. It's plus money too.
I liked your team, bro.
7.5.
I like the Saints, yeah. Second year quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kellen Moore is interesting. Offensive mind paired with this second year quarterback and Tyler Shook going into that. I'm really excited to see what they do in free agency. Do they cut ties with some of these big name aging players? What do they do in the draft? You're in a division where we're looking at it now, like 8.5 is the highest win total, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carolina won the division. They lost to get into the playoffs, right? They had a 3-way tiebreaker. I think Atlanta's interesting. I think Carolina could be interesting too. Like this division again might have a 8-win division winner, but they're going to be a bitch to play.
I mean, you could literally bet every over in the NFC South, and you might either push or win a couple. Like it's still going to. It's the NFC South is that chaos, that hurricane down there that it's so unpredictable. There's everybody's worst nightmare on a schedule because you never know what version of that team you're going to get on any given week. I really like the win totals for the NFC South.
Yeah, Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons all went 8-9, and then the Saints went 6-11, and they were a team to end the year that, you know, they beat the Bucks in Tampa, right? They beat the Panthers. Was it the Panthers they beat twice?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Was it? I think it was the Panthers that they beat twice.
Yeah, they were the redheaded stepchild at the beginning of the year. That's a shot at Spencer Rattler, and then, you know, we dated up. Yeah, we beat the Panthers twice. You are correct.
Yeah, so
Beat up on the Jets and the Titans. Subtle flex. Get the fuck out of here. You guys can't hang.
yeah. And then you look at real quick, just last thing, just to put a bow on this, like their road games at Giants, obviously in the division, at Detroit indoors, at Cincinnati. We got to wait and see when that's played. If that's played in September, that's basically an indoor game. They play at Soldier Field. Again, let's see when that's being played. And they play at Baltimore. Not really the craziest road schedule, right? So I like those so far that we mentioned. So my 3, Bears under 10.5, Saints over 7.5, and the Lions over 10.5.
My final one, Washington under 7.5. This is another one in which you just have to pay attention to the age of the roster. I counted it. Guess how many players they have that are over 30 years old on the roster?
Out of 53, 29.
22. Wow. It's a lot of old players.
Yeah.
You're building around that young nucleus of Jaden Daniels and Wild Bill, but that defense is shot. And they're trying to get everybody excited about what's going to happen in 2033. So I think now that the Commanders were good for a year and they have plans for a new stadium, Commanders fans just buckle up and get ready for the same old shit you guys saw for the past 20 years before Jaden Daniels showed up. You guys are just a bad franchise. They hired David Blau as their offensive coordinator. Do you remember the name?
Started a game on Thanksgiving, bro, for the Detroit Lions.
His final snap in the NFL was in 2023. He goes and coaches the year after in 2024. And he's always going to be a first-year play caller with Jaden Daniels. Good luck to you.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, Washington is in a very, very weird predicament because they're in the NFC title game last year, but they had those issues of the old roster.
They were they were doing what the Bucs did with Brady. They got lucky with the quarterback that they had, but that roster construction was like, we got to win now.
Yeah. And then unfortunately for Jaden Daniels, a lot of the red flags he had coming out of college came into fruition this year. Undersized,
fragile,
was missed in and out the lineup too. And then I loved what Washington did. They were like, hey, bro, let's pack you up, bring you back next year, and let's try to figure it out. Because he's still on a rookie contract. They got this year and next year and then potentially the year after where they don't give him the contract extension. So you have another 3-year window with Washington. And, you know, we were on Washington regressing too. All right, like they were amazing in one-score games, aging roster, rest of the division being better with Dallas and Philly. This was going into last year. So I think that's right. I think that's pretty accurate. But there'll be more of this as we go on. We'll make our official win total picks once we get the schedule. You know, I like waiting for that. So yeah, man, shout out to Josh once again for coming on the show. Shout out to all of you watching us on the Your Welcome Network. Rate, review, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll be in the comments replying to you guys. Follow us on all social media outlets at Veterans Minimum. And remember to watch the Combine video. It's on the Veterans Minimum YouTube channel, Veterans Minimum YouTube channel. You can find everything there. George, sign us off.
This is a sick shirt. All right. And Marvin, met him today for the first time, who's running our entire Shopify, all right, our merch store. Go and check it out. This shirt is sick. And if you wear this shirt to a strip club, I think you'll get a little extra attention. They'll be like, oh my God, is that me on the shirt? And then before you know it, you're just having a conversation about how these strippers can make more money sports betting than they do stripping. They have the funds. They could take more calculated risk.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.